nuclear explosion devastates New York, and the building starts to collapse. 9 people break away from the crowd and take shelter in the basement of their apartment, where Mickey, the janitor, takes them to the building's hidden bunker. As the survivors try to recover, Mickey starts the generator and seals the door. He immediately establishes strict rules, behaving as though he had long prepared for this disaster. He forbids anyone from opening the door until the radiation clears, warning that survival depends on strict adherence to his instructions. Eva checks her phone for a signal, but there is none. Mickey hands Delvin a walkie-talkie, but it fails to connect with the outside world. Taking control of the situation, Mickey gives the survivors a tour of the basement. He points to an area he calls a bathroom, but warns there is no extra water for showers or flushing toilets. Eva notices another door, but Mickey quickly tells her it leads to his private room, which no one is allowed to enter.
That's fucking disgusting.
Marilyn asks if there's any food, and Mickey opens a few canned beans. Suddenly, noises come from outside the entrance. Someone is trying to force the door open. The survivors hope it's a rescue team, but Mickey is not optimistic. Moments later, several armed intruders in protective suits break in. Marilyn, terrified, tries to hide his daughter Wendy, but the armed men quickly spot the little girl and pull her away. Some of the intruders restrain Marilyn, while others inject Wendy and carry her out in a protective capsule. Ava hides in the shower, but one of the men finds her and reaches out to grab her. Before he can, Delvin strikes him with an axe. Meanwhile, Mickey ambushes another intruder, stabs him and grabs his gun. He shoots another enemy just as they aim at Sam. With all the attackers dead, Mickey quickly locks the door with a chain. Bobby and Josh tend to Adrian, who is wounded. With Delvin's assistance, they remove the bullet from Adrian's wound. Marilyn, in shock over Wendy's abduction, struggles to cope. Meanwhile, Delvin and Josh inspect one of the bodies and remove its protective suit. Suddenly, they notice Marilyn trying to open the door, desperate to escape and find her daughter. The group restrains her and locks her in a storage room as she screams in anguish. Unable to dispose of the bodies, the survivors wrap them in plastic. A debate arises about whether they should search for Wendy. Mickey and Bobby refuse, but surprisingly, Josh volunteers. He puts on one of the attacker's suits and ventures outside. What he finds shocks him. Massive plastic tunnels extend from the bunker. Eventually, one of the tunnels leads him to a laboratory where several workers in protective suits are conducting experiments. As he ventures deeper, he discovers capsules containing children, including Wendy. Suddenly, a worker notices Josh's strange behavior and asks for his identification. Panicking, Josh manages to escape, shooting several of the scientists along the way, but losing his weapon in the process. Back at the shelter, Josh nervously recounts what he saw and apologizes to Marilyn for failing to save Wendy. Suddenly, strange noises come from the door. The lab workers are welding it shut from the outside, ensuring the survivors can never interfere again. Days pass, and the survivors gradually adjust to their life in confinement. But Josh starts experiencing symptoms of radiation sickness. Meanwhile, the bodies of the intruders left in the bunker begin to decompose, creating unbearable conditions. Mickey suggests chopping them up and flushing them down the toilet. Horrified, but left with no better option, the survivors reluctantly agree. Bobby takes on the gruesome task, trying to distract himself from his growing despair. Meanwhile, Delvin notices that Mickey's secret room is open, while Mickey himself is nowhere to be found. As Delvin heads to the bathroom, Mickey suddenly returns and pushes him out. Delvin shares his suspicions with the others, prompting them to search Mickey's room, where they each find personal belongings of their own. This reveals that Mickey had been sneaking into their apartments before the disaster. From then on, the survivors take over his room, and his TV provides a rare source of entertainment. As time passes, food supplies start running low. The men suspect Mickey is hiding provisions, especially since he hasn't lost as much weight as the others. Eva notices Delvin retrieving a stun gun from his locker and heading toward Mickey's room. Delvin finds Mickey emerging from a closet, hidden behind an American flag. He demands to see what's inside, forcing Mickey to reveal the space. Inside, Delvin finds an assault rifle. Seizing the opportunity, Mickey grabs the weapon and shoots Delvin. The commotion alerts Eva, who calls for help. The rest of the group rushes in, demanding answers. Mickey insists he acted in self-defense, claiming Delvin tried to steal his supplies and weapons. The others don't believe him and knock him unconscious before tying him to a chair. Josh and Bobby attempt to open the storage room, but find it locked with a code. Bobby resorts to beating Mickey, but he refuses to talk. Enraged, Josh grabs a knife and cuts off one of Mickey's fingers. Just as Josh is about to cut off another, Mickey finally gives in and reveals the code. The group rushes to the storage room, leaving Mickey tied up. Inside, they discover a hidden stash of food, and Josh and Bobby quickly take control of the food. The next day, Josh calls Eva over, offering her food, but subtly hinting that she will receive more if she sleeps with him. Eva secretly shares some of her portion with Mickey. In return, he whispers to her that there is a gun hidden in his storage room that no one has found yet. Later, Sam barks like a dog for food, while Bobby and Josh laugh. Eva walks in, and Bobby and Josh force Eva into a game of truth or dare. When asked if she loves Sam, she says yes, then turns the question on Josh, asking if he enjoyed torturing Mickey. Angered, Josh insists he did not. When Sam tries to defuse the tension, Josh snaps and forces him to chop up Delvin's body. Sam refuses, but Bobby and Josh humiliate him, pushing him to take the axe. Seeing his distress, Eva steps in and offers to do it instead. Meanwhile, Josh begins showing signs of radiation sickness. His hair starts falling out, and he eventually shaves his head. Eva, growing more desperate, asks Mickey where the gun is. He begs her to untie him, but she refuses. He then reveals that there is another way out through the toilet. Eva attempts to retrieve the gun, but is intercepted by Bobby and Josh, who begin harassing her. She manages to escape, but is unable to get the weapon. Soon, Eva notices her own hair falling out, and realizes she too is succumbing to radiation sickness. Understanding that staying in the basement is futile, she devises a plan. Sam will retrieve the gun, while she cuts the power to cause a distraction. Pretending to submit to Bobby, she lures him out of the room. Meanwhile, Sam sneaks into the storage room, but finds the lock code has been changed. Bobby appears, revealing they changed it 2 weeks ago. When Sam finally finds the gun, he drops it in front of Bobby. Just as Bobby reaches for it, Sam punches him, takes the gun. When Eva sees Sam armed, she urges him to give the gun to Adrian. Instead, out of jealousy, Sam shoots Adrian. As Eva rushes to Adrian, Josh and Bobby viciously beat Sam. Josh then orders Bobby to shoot him, but Bobby unexpectedly turns the gun on Josh instead. At that moment, Eva grabs a can, slashes Bobby's throat with the lid, and takes the gun. She rushes to free Mickey. As Josh chases after her, Mickey shoots him just in time. The wounded Josh, in his final moments, smashes an oil lamp, engulfing himself in flames. While Mickey and Sam attempt to put out the fire, Eva puts on the protective suit, gathers supplies, and heads toward the sewage exit. As the fire spreads, the remaining men beg Eva not to leave them, pleading for their lives. Ignoring them, she escapes through the sewage pit and emerges into the ruins of New York City. However, despite escaping the basement, she realizes that the outside world offers no salvation, and she is still doomed.